Hi everyone, good evening. As if it was yesterday, right? Welcome to the stream. Well, hi everyone. Hey Dragons Music. Hey Nadia. Hey Eve, nice to see you. Sylvie, hi. Hey Martin, nice to see you. Greetings to Hamburg. Thanks for having you. Hey Ben, how are you? Georg. Ariko Reiser. Hi Guess. Great to see you all. Bernie, hi. And Ariko Reiser, thank you so much for resubscribing for 6 months. That's really kind of you. A 3-month streak. I really appreciate that. You know that. Hey Peter, how are you guys? So today it's damage 2 time, right? Let me know if you got it already. I'm probably not the only one, but as far as I know, I wasn't totally aware of this because, yes, damage. It was like an intro prize. There was like an intro prize, but there was also a prize for existing, for users that already had damage 1. I think it was like 199 or something. So that's really awesome. I mean, consider it like the initial library, damage 1, was like 9 years back or something. So I really, kudos to the Heavyocity guys. This is just such an awesome team. Really nice. Actually, I'm not really sure if I should tell this, but I think it's just obvious when you just look around the internet. But I'm not really sure you know this, and probably Neil will probably stone me to death if I tell this. But back then there was like a band called Annihilator. If you don't know the band, I don't know. It's like a metal band, and when I had first contact with Neil, I always thought, man, I know that face, I know that person from somewhere, and then switching back to like how many years before, Annihilator was one of my, favorite metal bands. It was just like I just devoured every track they wrote, like Never Neverland, I think it was called the album. And it was so awesome to see all their music videos. And then it just came to me that Neil Goldberg, one of the main developers of, and the main, probably the main face of Heavyocity, was one of the guitar players of Annihilator back then. So if you check that, you can see that Neil Goldberg. I don't know exactly how long he played on the band, but so he was the guitar player of Annihilator back then. I didn't know that. But he always looked like familiar, and then I was just checking, I just have to check some kind of cover, some kind of booklet or inlay I remembered that face from. Yeah, you're right. Neil already looks metal as fuck. Definitely. I mean, the entire company is. Hey, Epic Score, how are you? Super Mike. Great to see you guys. So we're already at like 28 people. That's really cool. Let me just check if we got like... I was a little bit concerned about the dropped frames yesterday. I know it's just not a biggie. But I had like... it wasn't just like dropped frames. It was like the entire connection just broke down. So, but even if you have like a second connection, you can't even switch that fast to switch to something else, because everything has to be... how do you say, like recalculated again. Hey Alan, nice to see you here. No, actually Neil, I think it's Ariel playing the drums in the trailer for Damage 2. I would have to check. Yeah, but I think it's do I confuse names again? This is always so embarrassing when I talk live about names. Everybody who knows me. I would have to check. Let me just check. No, I don't find any team. But you will probably know better who's the... No, I can't find it right now. But it wasn't Neil in that initial trailer. I can't exactly remember. Yes. So before we hop into well, we do it you know, like we will weave it in between. So let me just switch screens here and let's hop over to Damage 2. Let's take a look at this awesome GUI. But before we hop into the library itself, I just wanted to introduce you, and if you have been here yesterday, you would have probably been annoyed by now, but I just released, it's just like fresh out of the oven, I released Heroic Rhythms, which is actually happening for Damage 1. It has been optimized for Damage 1, and I just quickly wanted to mention this here. I will drop you a little link, and so you can just check it out. So just in case, if you're interested about this, I will just drop the link here. And just going through this like for 5 minutes, maybe less, because I'm excited to explore with you Damage 2. I mean, actually, I did a video, when did I do the video? I released it yesterday, Monday, right? So I kind of like got most of the part, but to be honest, I try to keep... you know, not to go through all of the presets so we can explore this all tonight. So, hey Kyles, how are you? Dave, nice to see you. Norman, hey, D451D. What is it like? Probably, it should be, it's like Dizit or something. Dazit, David, something. Okay, let me just quickly show you how this works. So this is optimized, these loops I created for Damage 1. They're optimized for Damage 1, but they are also available for Studio One, Cubase. So you can just simply drag and drop one of these loops here, load it up here. And please bear in mind, what you hear now is Damage 1, okay? So this is how I created these loops. So that's these loops. Okay, so of course you can change the tempo, make it like... So you get the idea. So you get like 30 of these rhythms. Let me just drag in another one here. Well, that sounds a little bit fast, but that's a cool thing about MIDI. You can just change the tempo on the fly. And as you may have noticed, it's not always the same loop. So I try to come up with a little bit of, you know, going somewhere else towards the end or something. So you got another folder here, Stomping Lows. Let me just load this one. So you got like kind of basic bass grooves. And then you got another folder. You got 10 of these. Then you got another folder with driving grooves. Let me just... no, let's just use number 9. Let's place it below that. And then you see what... Let me just play this in solo here. Okay, so you get the idea of this one. You can see it's kind of stupid but I'm nervous to go and finally check out Damage 2, but I just had to do this little bit of promotion here because it's my stream. I can do this. No, but I think I would have been happy back then if I would have had these loops, you know, because it's just amazing. If it doesn't matter if you just want to learn something. It depends on if you see that you can learn something from my stuff here, but I think I would have paid money to have some stuff like this. And later on, I would have paid money because sometimes you had deadlines that were like this hardcore, and it's like a topic. You can buy something which focuses towards trailer music, so you can download a package, buy a package, and just use it instantly. So enough talking. Here's like the driving grooves and the stomping lows combined. So they always fit together. And then you have a little package down here, which is called Groove Constructor. It's basically the same like these stomping lows and the grooves, the driving grooves. But let me just combine these. So they are like a little bit shorter snippet here. I think I wrote 4 bars in the description, but it depends on how you count. So there is a low. We just pick one of the mid grooves, put it here. Oops. And then one of the high grooves. Let's pick this one and let's see how this sounds. So if we quickly listen to this soloed, you can hear the low groove or not. Oh shit, I just put it on the Damage 2. Let me just pick another one. No, what was it? Can I do it like this? No. I'm sorry, that was the... Let me create a new track here. So... Something happened. Wait, let me just start over because I think I confused something. It could be also that I simply grabbed... Let's listen to this first. Okay, so we got this one, then we got a mid groove. Let me just check this separately. Okay, so we can put this together. Right, this sounds better. And then we have a high one. Okay, put this together. So you get lots of food for your for Damage 1, just in case. I mean, it could be that you're not able, not able to afford Damage 2, or you're still happy with Damage 1, whatever. So I just wanted to make sure to. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, so now you know. Hey Annie, nice to see you. Cloud Jumper just tuned in. What are we doing? Usually the title says what I'm doing. So I hope I set this up right. But it says it's Damage 2 time, baby. So we just head over to Damage 2. So we are going to review this awesome library. So let's just start with the... So we got like 3 sections here. We got the ensemble designer, we got the kit designer, and we got the loop designer. And for now, I just loaded the ensemble designer. And just if you think like, oh, just 3 patches, Heavyocity, you're just lame, you know? So we got like all these, you got these snapshots in here. I mentioned this because most of the time I forget about these snapshots too. So you got like all-star presets, you got all these things in here. We probably don't have time to listen to all of these because we would be busy until next week. I mean, if you're willing to stay here for a week, I would have to get some food in between. So let's just listen to this initial thing loaded, like the Armageddon 2 set here. And let me know if I should mute the microphone, if like the... you know, like the bleeding, the sound of my finger tapping gets through. So what I should also mention right away in the beginning is when you see these dots here up here, doesn't have anything to do with music theory. So I would see it like left and right hand samples, depending from what perspective you're seeing this. So you can't move this around on stage. You can just drag and drop this and put it over here. Put it completely to the front like this. Or put it in the back. Okay, cool. So just let me know if the finger drumming gets too annoying so I can still mute my microphone. It's a little bit of work, but I think I will get this done. So you basically can come up with something like, you know, say like you want to have it set up like this so that your drums are a little bit spread upon the stage. So I just try to play all of them somehow, but let me just use, how do I do this? No, let me just do 2. So this is pretty amazing. I mean, if you just have like, if I would have had this, I mean, I was really happy to have Damage 1 back then with this, you know, like the stage positioning with like the big dots, and you were just able to pan it. But now it seems like a real stage simulation. Sorry. So this is just one patch, and this is just 1/3 of one patch. So if you've noticed down here, you have one set that always spreading. I always say like the C2 octave. I mentioned this in the video. It's kind of wrong, but it's like the general octave from C2 to B2, and then the next octave is C3 to B3, and so on. So you got one set spread upon these keys, and then here, starting from C3, it jumps over to another set. So you got like an entire new stage. And some of these patches have 3 notes. So as for example, for the snare, you see that they are all on top of each other. And on the 3rd key, you have a roll, which you can control, with a mod wheel. So I really love this. And up here on the next octave, you have an entirely different set. Of course, sounds a little bit funny. It's like jumping dimensions between all the stages, but so this is the advantage when you use all of these different notes. This is also how I created, just a good example. These heroic rhythms, they are never just like so, but they are like combining sometimes just 2 or even 3 or 4 articulations and then building these grooves. We will go probably a little bit later into that by combining or just building or showing you how to build grooves that sound really epic. I mean, they already sound like, but you can make it even more epic. I just tried to install kind of a, like a vocal pitch, but it's just involved with rewiring virtual cables and stuff again. So we are grown-up people, so we don't need this. Okay, let's just check another of these sounds. So let's check out all these all-star presets. Let's load the big screen ensemble out here. Oops. Okay, so you got like a third key. Like a 7-inch Gran Casa, that's... So you got like a little flam up here. Yeah, Peter, this is kind of true. I mean, except VSL, except like the VSL guys, nobody cared about orchestral placement, and it shouldn't be too hard to implement, right? Even if they would love to have their own stage, they could come up with like, impulse response development, like creating a few impulse responses from their beloved stage or whatever, and then just place all kinds of orchestral instruments on the stage. That's really true. But we will probably get to this. Maybe some developer watches this stream right now and said, oh, the people on Alex live stream, they are so inventive. They will probably hire you. Okay, so Andy, you just did you say there were different mic settings? Seems really wet. Well, you can, let me just show this again. You can move this to the very front here. So they sound pretty, direct and close, but I think they are just pretty big. And then you can move it to the background. And of course, I should mention that probably right away. I mean, we can load the same preset again. You can hop over to the, you can deactivate the stage, and then you can have your own setup down here. So you can get rid of the like the room, the hall, let's leave on the LFE. So that's like, let's probably load the Armageddon 2 ensemble again. Let's deactivate the stage, deactivate room hall. So, I think there's a lot of... Let me just also check what is going on with the crush. That must be like a punished signal. So you can control the LFE. So that's pretty awesome. And you can go even further and just go over to the drum settings here. And I should probably activate all of these. And then you can go over to the drums and control. You could even just down tune these. So you can change completely the sound for each of these drums. I think you could even change... No, it's always one set. Okay. It's like head on the studio door, kind of. Let's turn these up a little bit. So there is actually absolutely no chance of saying the samples in general are a little bit too, processed, too much room. You got all kinds of possibilities. I know there was like a little bit of a, not really, like a little bit of a problem that people said, like, Hans Zimmer percussions by Spitfire, they were not really, they didn't have impact. Just want to be fair to defend Spitfire here a little bit, because people probably, didn't activate the close microphones and balanced all these things and put like a little bit of transition stuff going on the signal, like, like a vitalizer or something. But you have it all in here with Damage 2. Okay, we had this already. Let's load a different one here. Let's load Symbolism. Okay, so they recorded crescendos. But at some point I know there is where you control the roll with a mod wheel. I think I kind of miss gongs in orchestra libraries. I just remember back then East-West Quantum Leap, like the Hollywood Orchestra, had gongs, like these really heavy ones. Otherwise, I really can't remember. So let's all-star presets. Okay, let's just what do we want to do? Let's load the monster ensemble here. Sam, I'm reading this with big surprise. You had original damage for some years now, but you never used it. How did you do this? How can you not use the Armageddon ensemble? I mean, this was like... Where do I want to go? I mean, when I got the library first, okay, everybody was, of course, wow, those loops, hit the key, but I was just going through the patches, and then I found this Armageddon ensemble, and this was just like, man, this drum set is so absolutely amazing. I think probably back then I would have paid the money for just the Armageddon ensemble. And to be honest, 199 or 299, I would have just paid for the ensemble designer here. This is... pretty big, pretty huge. I really actually like that Heavyocity went for a little bit of more of a cinematic, boomy, broad sound instead of just trying to top these sharp, precise and clean cutting hits they were producing with Damage 1. Because by doing this, it's not like, okay, now Damage 2 is out, I can replace Damage 1, because they just perfectly fit together, So it's not one library tries to top the other one, it's like a great addition to it, so... Yeah, I think like Damage 1 will never leave my hard drive. Never. Never ever. Let's check out some more stuff. What do we load? Let's load a variation. So we got like lows, mids, and high samples, you know, spread out on the, or just, you know, to save some RAM, just in case if you need the lows or the mids. Okay, organic. Let's load ensemble toms. All solo toms. Let's load all solo toms. Okay, so this is kind of the series where you have all samples with the same articulation. So you got like the hit, got another hit, you got a little flam, you got longer, which is like not longer flam. I said in the video longer flam, so it's like, what, Alex? What the fuck are you talking about? It's like a little bit of a roll, longer roll, and then you have one you can control the mod wheel. And then again, the next drums go the same, like 2 hits, flam, then roll, longer roll, and mod wheel controlled crescendo or decrescendo, however you wanna. And so on. Hey Besh, just translating this. I don't even know. I think I have on my system I have an M.2 drive, but for samples I'm having just a traditional SSD drive. I'm not even sure. It's like 500. I don't know. I just said to the person building my computer, just make it as fast as possible and let me know how much it is. And then I said yes or no to try to put out things or just throw in some more stuff. I just know that my system drive is an M.2 drive. And then for was it Evo? I don't really know. I can just check check later on. Okay, let's check some more sounds. What do we have here? Organic. Let's check the taikos. Ensemble and solo taikos performance. I'm just looking for this biggest. No, here we have the menu. Taikos and Chinese toms menu. 36. I think this is like 36. Oh man, that sounds so nice. Just have to turn up a little bit here. I think I told this story yesterday. It's just quick. I mean, when I first received Damage 2 and I just listened to it and I had my volume turned down a lot because I was playing the night before and didn't turn up the volume. And then I thought like, this library sounds great. You know, it's not like really that smashing, that impact, but it sounded cinematic and rich and beautiful and warm and everything. And I thought, okay, if it's like a little bit too soft, you can just turn it up. But then I realized that I'm working on some kind of settings with like, so right now I'm at 33. I think I had it turned down way more, like minus, you know, like 10 dB less. And then I realized this and I turned it up and say, okay, now it's not just sounding cinematic and warm, but also lots of impact, you know. Get like ensemble rolls. Oh, let me just quickly check something, because No. Ah. I think I found the name of the guy standing on the toms. It's still going through my mind currently. It's kind of, I'm like, oh, sorry, it's Ari Winters, not Ariel. I said like Ariel something, but it's Ari Winters. That's the guy standing on drums, playing the drums. I think so, in the Damage 2 trailer. So let's load the Armageddon 2 ensemble again here, and let's check out a little bit what you can do here, because the thing is that was just the surface of the ensemble designer. Let's hop over to the source, because here you can create your own. You cannot just create your own stage and the arrangement and panning and room depth. You can also arrange the source. Krubbish, thanks so much for following. So you can say, let's hop over to, let's say you want these low war drums on C and C sharp, but on D and D sharp you want, these low taikos. So you can simply drag and drop these over, and then so this is absolutely cool. And then you have the same going on for octave 2 and octave 3. So you can totally design whatever you want out of everything you have in here, damaged. Let's load Hellscape. Oh, sorry, Hellscape on this and this key. So you can design your own kits and then play them and arrange them on your stage and whatever you want. It's like a total freedom. I think that should be obvious. If you have any questions, or you can also have like a, I didn't see this before, so you can have like an, okay, right. So you can preview the samples. I was too stupid to that when watching the video. I didn't see that little button here. So I think that should be clear what you can do here. So this is basically the folder. You got all these, look at what all that stuff is in here. This is crazy. And this is just like the tabs, so you got like monster ensembles, you got organic drums. This is crazy. This is like, it's like Omnisphere for drums, so to say. Let's hop over to the settings. And there is something very cool, because if you like something, you can hop over, let's say, to the flam, and you can set it to, turn it on, and then you can create your own flams. So just in case, if you have a, let's say you like a patch, you like a sound, but it doesn't have any effects with it, recorded effects or a recorded flam, you can create your own quickly. You can hop over to swell. Sorry. Can create a swell length, let's say a full bar, the rate. This is so cool. And then you can have a crescendo. Or you can even build decrescendos. This is cool. So what I really loved about this, just the role should be self-explanatory. You can even have a repeat. So if you turn this on and you say like 16th notes in tempo 120, And you say, let's make it a little bit lower, slower for now, 8. And let's move this to first. So you can have the first accent, then you have 4 beats, and the tempo is 1/8, like 8 notes. And because Contact is so cool, hey DJ Adam, how are you? And because Contact is so cool in this regards, you can say learn MIDI automation, and let's just move this to the mod wheel. So I just turn on learn MIDI, and then I move the mod wheel, and now you can play this. So it's just, you could spend like an hour on this performance tab only to just fool around with just, you know, a few keys. So this is like the typical stuff up here should be like also self-explanatory. You have round robin, you can deactivate this, you can control, you have like velocity random. So just in case if you are not a good player like me and you just, let me just deactivate. Oh, it's deactivated right up here. So don't be, you know, irritated by this stuff happening here. And you can put random velocity in here. And if you just... So I'm trying to use the same velocity all the time. You see that it's kind of going on randomly. So you can, you know, just create a fast loop and just have it all, you know, just painting into the piano roll and then hitting velocity random and then velocity Rambo, right? And then you can control also the curve. You can even say MIDI level CC1 should be probably the velocity controlled with a mod wheel, like. See down here when I'm moving the mod wheel, hopefully. Okay, so, and then last but not least, on this one we have like the typical punish button, so we can just wait, let me just turn this off. So you get more of like some gentle saturation. Or not. Oh, let me just load the initial set, because I think I exchanged with these hell patches before. Or you can switch over to Hurt Me Plenty. I'm sorry, but I just love this stuff, that you have this GUI, this button, and it seems like to explode when you just move it up. So does the sound. I love it. It's just, I don't know. I just love to destroy stuff when it comes to sounds, of course. It's not like I'm some kind of a joker in real life. Just yeah, it's like sound bondage. Definitely going, when it comes to sounds, I'm a little bit leaning towards that, because being like an acoustic sadist, you know. So, and you can even switch over to Nightmare, and you also got that knob. So, I mean, let's try this. We can also say learn automation. Now you can control this knob with a mod wheel. let's just, you know, fool around. Then we can hop over to the settings and say repeat. And it also controls the amount, so we can have, turn this on. The only thing I'm not sure why it goes. Probably there's something still automated. And there wasn't there another feature that was really awesome? Let me just unlearn this one. Let me just move this back to gently. Let's remove this. This is one thing I wanted to show you because this is also amazing. You can have a roll. Sorry for saying self-explanatory, but this was one of the cool features I wanted to show. Definitely, because you can control the rate of the roll here or make it fast. Now, if you learn this to the mod wheel, this is where it gets really awesome. Isn't that cool? I love it. It's so innovative. You can really, you know, you can clearly see that this is not some nerds, you know, like haha coding. It has been created for musicians and composers, you know, to use in a live environment, and it's a lot of fun. Sometimes you have like to be honest, I have to say that that this is one of the reason why I stopped using VSL back then, because you had like 50,000 knobs you had to use in order to create a sound out of it. And so I stopped kind of using it. Actually, to be fair, I just checked out the Big Bang Orchestra, and it seems like the general user interface changed. So it seems like there is a lot of stuff going on in the background. So I hope I'm right, but just in case any one of you is using VSL, the newer stuff, if I'm right, that they just reduced all that fancy programming and moved it somewhere to the background. I'm not sure about this, but definitely it is fun to play around and fool around with this stuff in Damage 2, because it feels a little bit like an analog synth. You're just sitting there and you're just fooling around with the sounds, and then you're moving like a little bit of a, you know, an oscillator or something, and then you just modify some kind of a curve and it changes the sound completely. And so it's a lot of fun to play around. Hey, Dirk, how are you? Smuts, hey, thank you for being here. And everyone I missed. Wow, we have like 79 people. I'm seeing that right now. So 48 watching from YouTube and 31 from Twitch. I will be really curious when we reach the 100 on Twitch. So on Twitch alone, I mean, that was kind of my ultimate goal to get there, but we will get to that sooner or later, thanks to you awesome guys. So, do you want to see something from the ensemble designer? Because you just right now have to realize that this is just 1/3 of the entire library. It's just 1/3 of the entire library. So let's just quickly check out some stuff here, like hybrid hits. Let's check out some hybrid hits here. Hybrid damage hits. So let's just play a few of these sounds. Let's hop over to ethnic. Let's definitely check out a big ethnic ensemble here. Ethnic palette menu 18. This is what we want. Sounds like Borans. Did you, Adam, what do you mean with panning them? You can just, what I showed before, you can just move it around on the stage. You can go here and say... I mean, you can even do something like this, but wouldn't make much sense, but move it to the front. This is probably, yes, this is probably more panning that you will ever need. You know, like, eat this. You know, yeah. It's not just panning. And you can just go crazy within the room. And even control, like, the general closed room hall in there. And, you know, probably if you want to, like, broaden the stereo field, you would probably have to use an external plugin. But I wouldn't be surprised if there would be some kind of master effects section down here where you can, well, I mean, just, you know, like every DAW got some kind of possibility to stereo maximize your signal. So, but this is what you were talking about to panning. Matthew, yes, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But it's actually not my fault that these libraries have been released. So actually I can, you know, push this award away and saying, okay, no, I'm not the guy making you guys broke here. Okay, so I think let's hop over to the kit designer for a second. I mean, we can come back anytime. Okay, so as I said before, the ensemble designer was just 1/3 of the library. Now we can hop over to the kit designer and so you can come up with some awesome stuff right away without... It's like Battery 4 on steroids. And I'm just, I think it starts off with the settings, so I'm not really sure why, but you can go hop over, probably it's like the most important thing you can have. So you can hop over to the mixer. There is an internal mixer going on, and this is what I really love, because I had this problem when I'm working with, you know, sometimes I'm a lazy guy. When I just have like an entire drum kit or like a percussion kit, I don't like to spread this all to different contact outputs and, you know, do all that stuff. I would like to have this possibility to just have, if this note is too loud, for example, I just want to turn it down. So you can easily do this right now. Without, I mean, also the cool thing, I have to say kudos to Heavyocity again, because they always made it possible that when you hit the lower note, it works even here. So if you hit the key not that hard, you can actually control the volume by lowering or raising the MIDI velocity. But it's even better when you're just assuming you came up with an entire rhythm and you were playing, that you can quickly jump in here without changing anything of the MIDI information and change the volume of the sound right away. You can even just, you could even just spread it out on all of kinds of contact outputs. Yes, I mean, so you got like EQs going on, overdrive, you can even pick. It's all probably like the internal contact effects you can put on there. It's probably the drive is, should it be related to the punish knob? I'm not really sure if it's like a It's not even turned on, so... Right, this is just, well, Alex, hi. You got like a little, you know, thing leading from here, so it shows that overdrive page. Transients I find very important, so so that's cool. You can hop over to the source and you have kind of like a built-in... Oh, Demon, hi. Just reading your questions. Do the loops have MIDI export? I'm not really sure. I was reading somewhere, something somewhere, that you have additional MIDI loops or something. So let me just quickly check. Oh, ePain, thanks so much for subscribing. And also Dorai Hansu for following. And Eliorion. And Krubbish also, thanks for following. Why do I miss these alerts all the time? Because I'm so fascinated by Damage 2. Let me just check the folder. Snapshots, documentation, instruments. So there are no snapshots. There are no MIDI loops in here. Documentation. But I'm not really sure if there's something going on with like MIDI export or import or something. Big Beer, PC, thanks so much for following. Thank you so much, guys. So what we had in the Ensemble Designer before is that you have your kind of built-in little machine. So you can go over to hybrid, let's say. You like this Thunder set, and then you can drag it over right here on one. And then you got this in here. Then you just go to damaged. Is there some kind of... Is there some kind of snare-ish? Found sounds. Oh, look! A solo rod. No, just dead jokes. So you want this here, and then you can build your own. There's too much. There's probably too much distortion going on. So you can come up with your own kits. And the next setup would be that you can even, I think it started on this page. So you can control your sound. So if your attack is too much and you want to start it from here, of course it's a little bit hard to find the exact Nullpunkt, like this, the 0 point, like the transition, but then you just probably minimalistically or just a little bit raise the attack, and then you get rid of that glitch happening. Right. I mean, decay, release, all that stuff, close room, blah, blah, blah. I think we don't have to go through that. All the effects, the internal stuff. And also then we have the master effect section, which is basically the same as before. It's also happening, it's also the same for the loop designer. But we didn't even go through the snapshots. So let's just, load a few of these sounds here. So let's have Demon Jungle, for example. Let's just try some of these patches here. I know I will use that sound a lot. Very cool stuff. So I feel, you know, like, oh, we're recording. So I could just play around with it for hours. Let's load Fireboy. That must be awesome. It is awesome. Where was that? Oh, here. Very cool. Feeling like that little boy again, you know, like having that grin all the time on my face. Airwave music, what do you mean always too much delay on the patches in both damages? I'm not really sure what you mean, because you can just get rid of the delay. Yeah, I should have like a little rapper, like a rapper store, kind of little rapper stage somewhere. So just in case if I'm just doing something like this, somebody's just sitting in the back and just starts rapping. That would be funny. Airwave, I don't understand what you mean by default. They always have too much delay. Oh, you mean like when you load the program? I mean, just turn off the delay, then it's gone. So... you just go into the effects section and just get rid of, just in case if there's delay on there, you can just simply turn it off. Okay, let me just read through a few questions, because I also see Demon. I expected the close room and hall mix levels to change with changing depth. Hey Christopher, you're playing with D2 at the moment yourself. I was reading like you're playing with yourself, but yes, I'm sorry. Yes, but Damage 2 is definitely sick. But Airwave music, I know what you mean. You mean probably that if you load a patch on default, there is delay going on, but you can simply just hop into like a section and get rid of the delay. And I know sometimes on specific patches, it also happens on DM307 that there was some delay going on, but just on one drum. So you have to go through that to that exact patch and just deactivate the delay, and then you don't have this problem, and then you can resave that patch without a problem and have all these patches without delay. Okay, so I think you get the idea. This is, I mean, we spent a little bit longer time on the ensemble designer, so the kit designer is kind of like the machine version. It makes a little bit more sense for all of these electronic sounds and more drum. Yes, that's true. In Damage 2, you can find it more easily. It's kind of, if we just, let's just load one of these evolve patches here. I'm not really sure if let me just load the rhythmic. I'm not really sure if I just find something. Dramatic evolved. Man, when I got this library back then, this was like, I've never heard something before. I think it was like a little revolution to me. I think I still have the package at home. Like a real, you know, like a package made of cardboard. This was so funny when this came out, so I don't want to spend too much time with this. I thought we find some patches with a delay right away, but you can easily get rid of this when you look through the, you know, just read the manual. Goodbye, just read the manual. Okay, so let's hop over to the loop designer, because this is really interesting here, what's going on. Okay, let's start off with just listening what has been just right now loaded in here. Trying to do things here, even though they don't want to know how many times I have crashed stuff during beta testing by just dragging something to some place that doesn't make sense. So I don't want to. I mean, I was just checking this to maybe because I just recalled that DJ Adam said it, that there was an option to just, or maybe if there is an option to get like MIDI in or MIDI out. So I just wanted to find this. So the cool thing about these loops, they work a little bit like the ensemble designer too. You have these 3 octaves up here. So if I play this lower octave, let's say the C1 octave, I have like my designer keys, and these are triggering, you can see that above, you are actually triggering something from the C2 octave, something from here, and something from here. And I can go up an octave and just play that single sound. So let's use this one. I can go in here and press this key, and now it's highlighted for this key. Then we move up an octave. Let's use this. So I can highlight this key, and for the upper octave, let's use this one. So now I got all of these things on my C1 octave. So now you are sounding like 2/3 more interesting and innovative and unique than everybody else just going in there and just typing one key because of all these combinations. You can even hit like learn, and I think you can just say, okay, this one, this one, this one, and then you hit learn again. I think it's now, I think I accidentally saved it. Yeah, I saved it to this key here. So for this key, learn, this key, this one, unhit learn, loop created. Binocular, you say some samples sound repetitive. The thing is, there is one very important thing to keep in mind when it comes to Heavyocity in general. Especially, it also happened with Damage 1. The amount where something was happening on the curve was just way on top. So if you play these manually, let me just go back to the ensemble designer. Maybe actually I should just no, whatever. You know, just load the ensemble designer pretty quickly. Oh, here we are. So if you just play very aggressive, it sounds like there is round robin going. There is like repetition going on. But you just have to play a lot with the velocity, because if you hit lower, the sample isn't necessarily lower in volume. So that means that you can create. So you definitely have to go in and, just in case if you play a little bit too loud, go in and process or edit these things, or you just work with a whole curve and just do something like this, where it's pretty hard to So this is important to keep in mind when it comes to, there is something similar going on with a Los Angeles modern percussion, where I think they didn't record even round robins, but a lot of velocity. So you have to really be careful how much velocity you're using for each patch, because just lowering something for 5 or 10 notches sounds completely different. So I hope this helps, but I do this mistake once in a while, you know, that I'm just loading a patch and saying like, oh, it sounds like machine gun effect or something. But then you have to be aware about the process these guys were working. So I remember there was a comment back then saying like, you know, Los Angeles modern percussion sounds complete shit because there is no, it sounds like machine gun. And then this guy hit like all the time because he was used to that, you know, that every library makes use of round robin. But if you just make use of the velocity and really take the time to edit all these grooves, they start to sound really realistic. Let me just close this window here. Let's load some more loops here. So we got these, and this is also cool. You got straight loops, hybrid cinematic, and you always got, what is STR again? I forgot what it is. Oh, straight, right? Yes. So, and you got also triplet loops, and this is what I, you know, love the company for, because Demon, I'm not really sure if you can MIDI export something from the performance page. You mean from the ensemble design? Let me just quickly go back, because I didn't read the manual at all, but I'm not really sure how you can, or what kind of performance page. Hey, good night, Dragon's Music. Sleep well. I'm not really sure if you can control some kind of, or import MIDI. I didn't see any window or something. Hey, Joy, how are you? The rolls, crescendos. I mean, it depends. I think it all happens internally with Contact. I don't also see how this should be, or maybe you can do this here. I'm not really sure. I would just have to read the manual, but I don't know how this should be possible, that you can control or import or export the MIDI. Yeah. Okay. So Art Turner. Hey, Art. Nice to see you. On VI control says you cannot MIDI export. Yes. So I just have to create some loops for you guys. How about this? So let's just load some loops here from the triplet menu. Let's load these intricate rhythms. I'm just playing single keys right now, I realize. Let me just play some of these designer keys here. This is what I don't understand. When you hear like composers, most of them compose in 4/4, which is cool. I mean, because it's like the commercial, but let's say the commercial time signature. But I hardly hear people composing in triplets. And there is so much awesome stuff going on. I mean, if you listen to like The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson, this is just completely groovy. And it's so special simply because of that triplet feel. Just moved. Something happened. No, I just destroyed everything. It was supposed probably to start here. Don't get this loop. But sounds cool anyway. Let's check All-Star Loops, Industrial Cinematic, Modern Mystery. Yeah, it will be featured in all these mystery series, you know. There was a skull on the wall, but they went into the door, disregarding what would happen next. Okay, so I think you get the idea also about this building thing here. We can also hop over to the source, and it works the same as with the kit designer and the ensemble designer, that you can simply hop over and just, you know, put these. Let me just, I'm still in the first, yes. Okay, so I'm here. Can hop over here and say straight. Let's use this one. I don't understand why it's that. Why is that slow? Ignacio, thanks for following. Okay, so let's use this one and put it on octave. No, I'm still just have to hover here. So, okay, so basically the same as the other ones. You can just create your own sets. And then you have send effects. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Let me just load the initial, what is it, looped? Okay. So you get something in here, what I have seen first in Novo, Heavyocity string library, I think. You can control modulation. And this is where it gets kind of interesting, because I just have to you can drag and drop. Let's just make it easy. Let's just deactivate all of these things down here. So you can, for example, have distortion. And you can already hear that this wheel basically is this thing here representing this pyramid that is going on here. So we could even say something like this. So you see that it's jumping around in between these two. You could also say not smooth. If you like it German, you can say not smooth. You could just turn it down. So basically, I think you get the idea. The distortion already always ramps up, and you could even set the range here, so it just moves up probably to the, you know, something like not that, you know, like full. But then you can use this big knob to just move it up, so it starts somewhere at the middle of the entire amount of the applied effects. I think you get the idea. Hope that makes sense what I'm trying to say here. And what's even more interesting is that that you can hop over here and say you want like a filter. And then you can simply drag and drop it over to the GUI. Let's load this. And of course, the cool thing on Contact is what I really like, that you could say learn MIDI automation, put it to the mod wheel, put this one to the mod wheel, just hop over to the mastering. We probably make it all crash right now. Just apply this to the mod wheel. So we're controlling all of these things with the mod wheel right now. See, I crashed it. I crashed all of this. Let me just put this to gently. So this is how your stuff comes to life. Let's just learn this too. Let's just learn this to the tone here too, and then so this is, I mean, probably not too much with a filter, but sounds a little bit, maybe just turn down the... We could probably put in a gator too here. Oh, there was one, anyway. Oh, let's load. Let's unlearn this. So this is still active for the filter, and we can activate this for the gator too here. And even just put the entire thing to triplets. Maybe we should... Probably doesn't make sense, only makes sense when it's like faster. Yes. And last but not least, we have the master effects section, the same like on the other modules. And this is like the entire library. Man, we went through that in like 1.5 hours. But I think let's go back to the ensemble designer. Let me just... spatial stuff, anything to do with making the stereo field wider, I wonder. Yeah, I mean, you could use any kind of spatial, plugin you have in almost every DAW. There is something like a spatializer in here, so you can, but I think you don't really need it. Yeah, it will damage the composition. Yes, you're right. You're feeling like there is a high risk of damage to stealing the show of your whole remaining composition. This is actually the same problem with, Junkie XL Brass. It's like you load this into your session and you automatically have to turn it down like 12 or even 18 dB, that it matches all other orchestral sounds. So what I remember, I was just thinking about if we just start writing something, but then we wanted to start tomorrow writing our, kind of escape, kind of Minority Report-ish track. So just in case, if you're new to the channel, we're having another live stream tomorrow. So this week is really marathon week. We have another live stream tomorrow, and we're going to start writing with Spitfire BBC Symphonic Orchestra with the core edition. So I didn't see, any sense to get like, like the big package for $800 just to start, demonstrating it in a stream. So you guys were not worth that I'm paying 800 euros to get a library. So I'm just kidding. This had to be this. I couldn't resist about, but you know what I mean. I just happily spend that money. you know, mainly to just work with it on a stream. I mean, this is really honest. I don't need the library in general, but I just want it because I got so many requests and questions about people asking me. And of course, I will probably use some of the patches. The woodwind sound very nice. I will probably use a big portion of the percussions, of the orchestra percussions, because they sound really nice. And yes, take some time off on Thursday. I wish my daughter is coming on Thursday and staying over the weekend, so there will be another kind of action going on. So next week I'm taking off on Monday by creating some new MIDI loops, by the way. So just in case, I just have to do that little bit of self-promotion after like 2 hours. So I just wanted to throw in the link once again to my new pack here, the Heroic Rhythms. As long as I don't stream, yeah. I thought about doing this actually. Maybe having like a huge stream for a full day. I also was planning to do a little stream in German at some point. I also definitely have to do a gaming stream because I think tomorrow there is Season 5 happening in Modern Warfare in Warzone. This is getting crazy. I think with tanks and everything is coming in. So I'm a little boy when I actually don't like weapons in real life. The only thing that I ever touched or have is a bow, like a shooting bow, and but you know, I'm not a big weapons fan, but when it comes to Warzone, I'm all like, hell yes. So we probably have a gaming stream coming on sooner or later. But there is one thing, if you have a little bit of more time, I was talking about, you know, kind of a strategy to create like bigger sounding arrangements, because most of us probably would use something like this. I'm not saying that you do, but I know a lot of people would probably, because they just don't have this layering attitude. So I just think I want to come up with something like building like a little 8-bar loop that makes a little bit more use of a few more sounds. So let's just You know, the thing is, Deer can be as nasty as he wants because we know each other. I know where it's coming from, you know? So this is, it takes a lot to just get me like pissed or something, seriously. But if there's one guy on this planet, it's definitely not Dirk. I can tell you that. So let's write something here. Actually, I also just reminding me when I'm, you know, that I remember that Daniel James recently mentioned that I should do a stream with Dr. Pepper, you know, kind of having like the Dr. Pepper show, you know, it's like having some of the logos in here and the drinks. Image and heap library. Oh, right here. It's Box of Tricks. It's pretty cool, actually. There is a lot of, you know, stuff Imogen uses when she's writing music. Kind of like a special, you know, let's say, kind of voice instruments or something. We could have a little stream about this one too, but you may check it on the web, like Box of Tricks, it's called. So I would say let's write a little bit. Let's just lower the tempo a little bit here. Okay, I'm just trying to come up with something, and then we just see what we get out of this. Okay, so I want to use the lower drums kind of sparse. Okay, let's use this one. Just close this for a second here. And then let me just activate this. So definitely too loud. Let's create a little bit of music. So this is what I mean when I said this before, that you have to be really careful with the velocity. You know, if you do something like this, wrong key, like this, it's kind of works, but you know, it sounds way more organic when you just pay the attention. And this is what so many people don't do. They don't pay attention to this one. They just make sure all the notes are in here. It doesn't matter which library, if it's orchestra or whatever. I know people, they don't even know what the mod wheel is for, to just get like dynamics going for a track. This is the most important thing you have to take care of. So just in case if you're wondering why your stuff doesn't sound, you know, let's say live, it's definitely because not paying attention to all the MIDI controllers. Oh, that's so sweet. Subbits, Sgt. Pepper's Lovely Hearts Club. That is really awesome. I should do that and put this somewhere here. I'll put it like a banner on top of the stream. Wait, actually I can do this right now. Can I do this? Let me just quickly do this. That's funny. So this is so funny. I can just copy this and just put it in here. It's like, okay, let's do this for a second. This is funny. Oh, it's the size. I have to just reduce the size. Oh, it just, okay. So we can't do it like full. Let's do it on top. We don't need the top. Okay. Bing. So we got this here. I'm such a, you know, like a playing kid. This is not normal. So let's have this up here. This is a good idea. Maybe I should just do it a little bit, you know. We just change one thing. Just make this a little bit slower. Okay. That looks kind of sweet. I could make it bigger, but I still want you to see what I'm doing here right now. It's always a little bit tricky because you have to write more to make it a little bit smaller and put it on the entire thing. Otherwise, it would look like this. You know, it's kind of a little bit too heavy. Let's put it like this. Okay, I like that. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go on and... Okay, let's come up with the next one. So I'm using this drum as kind of a rhythm in the background. And let's have some kind of syncopation rhythm. Something like this. No. Okay. So it kind of syncopated at the beginning. Let's use this one. Sounds kind of funny. Oops. Okay. It's got a little bit of hand here. So. Let's put some rhythm on top. What is going? What? Okay, didn't work. Couldn't zoom. This is kind of off. Let's just copy this because I fucked it up at the end. Kind of sounds cool. Let's just raise this a little bit. So when we have a loop like this, what you can do is just mark everything except when you work with Cubase, you want to do this. There is one advantage with Studio One. You can just mark all of these things and then you say like action and say humanize. Let's see what this velocity range. No, I don't want the velocity range to change. And let's maybe do this like, I'm not really sure what this value is. Is it milliseconds? I'm not really sure. Let's make it like 17 something. And then you hit this. And then when you listen again to that patch, move it back, quantized. Let's make it a little bit more obvious. I think this is a little bit too, let's make it like 25. So listen to that again. That's a little bit, that sounds a little bit goes into the drunk direction. So I think we're humanizing this probably like 19. Yeah, something around here. Playing this. So what you can hear right now is that it still sounds a little bit drunk, so maybe we should do less. But what you can hear when we are using these patches, maybe I should use, I already used these. Let's just copy these. To this and this one, and so let's quantize these again. Let's play this again. So it kind of sounds epic because you got all kinds of things happening together, and now we just humanize the entire thing, put it like 14, and now listen to this again. You hear all these kind of little flams. And And then you can do this, and you know, and you have like a bigger arrangement, and this it will cut a little bit more through your entire mix, or you know, through the orchestra, whatever you have going on, because you have all of these little flamps going on, and therefore you create, you know, kind of more, let's say, like room depth or anything, like more players playing at the same time. So I just totally missed the chat for a few seconds here. Yes, actually the same as I'm manipulating the MIDI here in Cubase. Could you do the same in Studio One? Yes, so I just showed this. So when you say like random quantizing, I'm not really sure how you do this, but I would just probably put the humanizing feature on a shortcut. I'm not really sure what, maybe it's already in here. We can check for keyboard shortcuts. Humanize, no key. So we could just make it, I don't know, let's just try this. Hide unused. I don't use this. Wait. Oh, pitch names. No, let's use another key. Okay, Control Shift and H. So we just put this on here, and now I can just it doesn't work. Why are you not working? It's sorry. I probably should put this to humanize time. Oh no, the music. Sorry, I just completely. Musical functions, humanize. Okay. Oh, I think I forgot to hit assign. I'm sorry. So it opens that menu. I should probably get like a little macro going saying use whatever is in there. So you just hit OK, or you can just hit enter. Right. Yes. Yes, it's not as convenient. The thing is, I don't understand if you just mark something, why this command isn't available. You have to hit Alt and T, and then you have it. Then you can do all the fading and, you know, everything what you can do in Cubase. I don't understand. I just talked to the developers and I said why it's not possible to just, you know, grab something up here and just already do it, because it's like a double step you have to do. But this is probably the only thing that Cubase makes a little bit more sense when it comes to MIDI stuff. And I could probably write some kind of a macro, but that probably would take a little bit too much time. I just wanted to show that what is awesome about Studio One is that the MIDI container, let's say the entire container containing all the MIDI events, doesn't care. Look what's going on here with that D sharp. If you can see that all right, it just goes beyond the initial start of the MIDI container of the entire MIDI event. So I can set this event right on the downbeat, but the MIDI loop, the MIDI note still starts before the container. So what is happening right now, if I just copy that loop over, that one note, which would start right here somewhere, still has this humanizing thing. If you do that in Cubase, it's out of that range and it probably doesn't play. So you always have to hide, you always have to humanize only the rest of the notes. But correct me if I'm wrong, but and then again, if you want to cut stuff in Studio One correctly as it works in Cubase, you have to hit the Alt key. If you just hit, you know, if you just cut stuff, it just disappears. But if you hold the Alt key and you cut it, you have like the MIDI keys, the MIDI notes and the events split like it happens right now here at this point. So you always have to hold down the Alt key. I wish there would be a way to just switch back to traditional deleting. But this is how Studio One works. I mean, you get used to this. Okay, let me just read through the chat here again. Okay, so yeah, so this is how I would work with these, you know, with libraries like this. I'm not a fan of just, of course, sometimes you just need like something like this, but if you want to have it really epic, it makes a lot of sense to layer all, and keep in mind that we just used, yeah, we used just one instrument from the second set. Oh, you don't see anything right now, and we used a lot from the you know, like that ensemble down here, just one note from the next octave and just one from the other one. So I could even sneak in and assign taikos to all of these. So that looks funny, huh? Yeah, so I think you can get like a really big sound. So this is in a way, as I mentioned before, like I you know, worked on these heroic rhythms. If I just load one more again in here, not really sure which one I am loading, but you can see that I used the first 3 keys. So I used all 3 of them, and it's like, you know, I was sitting there one day and saying like, what sounds bigger, this one, or this one? I think they sound all big, and I said like, fuck, use all 3, you know. So this is how I create my loops. Matthew, right now, yes, it looks like Space Invaders. I painted something different than a starship. That's cool to hear. Yeah, yeah, Daniel James said something, Alex, about having Dr. Pepper in the corner of the. Yeah, he just suggested, he said I should change my show to Dr. Pepper Show, and and having it styled a little bit with the logo of the drink. I actually love that too, but I can't drink it all the time because otherwise, you know, I'm in kind of an age that I would probably get like this big when I just, you know, drink Dr. Pepper all the, because if I would start drinking it again, I would drink it a lot. I know this. Okay, so just reading Rico Reiser, what you said, I don't know if you knew, probably not. I never know all of these things. That's so, please keep reminding me all the time, guys. In the Ensemble Designer, you can see on the right side, you can also sort of compress the room in a non-destructive way. So let me just find this out, what you're talking about. Okay, so this is the right side. Just have to let my brain process. You can also sort to compress those. Probably the crush, what you're talking about. So you can. Oh, the line, right, I'm sorry. Oh, right. No, I didn't know that. I know that the line was good for something, but I didn't, you know. So you can just adjust. let's say like compressing the room, and if you want in general you just assigned everything, so you just don't have to drag and drop it all again to just make it a little bit more dry, just in general. So it's a little bit like, you know, like compressing these velocities, right? Thanks to this. By the way, if you just want to compress it like this, all you need a pencil. Just bad joke, but... This would have been the absolute highlight if you would be able to apply this to MIDI learn, this one, but it doesn't work. If I right click on here, it doesn't work. Yes. Right, everybody back to the back of the room. It feels like school back then, you know. When I was sent to the corner all the time, all the fucking time, I was sent to the corner. I even had one English teacher. I just remember that. Let me just switch for a second. I even remember one English teacher. I was sick for like 1 or 2 weeks. I had like a bad flu or something, like a bad cold. And I went back to school, and right within like 10 minutes of the English lesson, she turned around and said, "Alex, it was so nice when you were sick. It was so quiet and so nice in here." I will never forget this. So I think I was like 12 at this point. So this is like 33 years ago. Holy shit. Oh, hey, Borby, I'm translating this to English out of respect to the others, but I will probably do the following giveaways with its new service to signing up with email, because I received messages from people saying, "Hey, you know, I just wanted to participate in that contest, but I couldn't make it to the stream, so I can't force people to be there." And also, on the other hand, people complained about the point system. I mean, not really. They most of them love this sharing. And obviously, it's also cool for your mailing list because more people come in. But I said, okay, now I will just try that to deactivate this and just having people sign up. So everybody has a chance to get into that. So we will probably do the following giveaways just to sign up via email. And the other thing is, another reason would be because currently we have 42 people watching from YouTube. They couldn't participate. They could just watch. You know, it's like standing on the outside of a good burger place, just having people just standing on the outside of that burger place and everybody sitting in there. I was like, oh, you know, I'm about to win something. I can just have like this library, and then like 42 people standing on the outside, and this would be kind of unfair. So I went back to email, and basically, if you guys want, did you know that I'm currently having one competition going on, one giveaway for, let's switch back to the yesterday's streams. We talked about the emotional violin, viola, and the cello by Best Service. So currently there is a giveaway going on. So I can share that link again if you want. So let me just put that in here again. Yeah, the thing is, yeah, Peter, you're right. It was kind of funny with the point system. I tried all kinds of services. You know, I tried UpViral, I tried Viper, I tried Gleam, and it's kind of funny to do, but it gets kind of annoying when you do this all the time. So I thought, like, You know, the basic thing why I did that. You know, I mean, technically, if for me, in all honesty, if it would be just about the money making in this job, I would write licensed music every day and having it released. You know, like trying to produce one track every day. But I'm doing all kind of research to find out what strategies work well when doing, you know, what videos are received the best, you know, what videos are a lot of people watching, and what, you know, course ideas are the best, what you could do with your Patreon account and all these things. So I'm basically trying it all out, doing these Twitch giveaways. Maybe there will be just, you know, I know Dirk does this with Facebook comments, so that he's just, you know, catching or trying to get this attention to his Facebook posts, which is all brilliant things. And I'm just using these giveaways, of course, to give you a chance to win something, because I see myself as just like a, you know, without trying to put the spotlight on me, but just another chance for you guys to win something. Because if I wouldn't do it, someone would be not happy receiving a new library. And I also want to use it to build my email list. And to be honest, the most important thing I'm trying to take care of is not building my YouTube channel, you know, like extremely building my YouTube channel, building my Twitch channel or Facebook or Instagram following, Twitter following. It's building my email list, because at one day it may happen that all of these social networks will run, let's say, out of business. And what sticks with me is that little, let's say, like a CSV file where I got all these email addresses in there. And just in case, even if ConvertKit, the email service provider, goes down that I'm using, I would be able to just to just sign up for another one and import my list and have all the people in there I want to reach, send out my, you know, my helpful emails or my little promotions. So to me, it's always the most important thing to build an email list. So if you really start thinking about building your own business, definitely get an email list done, because in 10 years from now, you will probably thank me later if you have like 10,000 people on your email list and you're sending out your new record. There is like a little bit of a difference if you just hop over to Facebook and say, hey, check out my new album. Or if you have an email list and saying, hey, here is my first track for free for you guys. And you just get a discount code of like 10 or 20% if you just want to buy the full album. Out of 10,000 people, probably 100 will buy it, you know, right away. Email will never die out. People said that like 10 years ago. Oh, Smuts, thank you. Thank you so much. Winning Amber was enough to turn me into a Pfeffer follower for life. I'm really floored to hear that. Thank you so much. And I'm really happy that you won the library. It's a nice, very nice addition to your sound palette, hopefully. Okay, Subwits, just trying to answer your question. Any particular tips to make my own samples of my drums and percussion massive like damage? What libraries are you talking about? Let's roll this up like this. Nashi Music, you wrote something nasty about the YouTube guys. You know, YouTube is, I don't care what people say about YouTube, that of course, I mean, there is a lot of discussion. I was recently seeing a stream, somebody talked about YouTube saying they want to care about their creators, they want to care about this, they want to care about this, but then they just come up with like this mid-rolls. And I was seeing a lot of my videos suddenly had these mid-rolls activated on default. So I didn't turn these on. I think I tested it once or twice on a 3-hour stream to have like one ad break in the middle. And right when I published my damage video, I think there were like 10 ad breaks in between. And I didn't know where this was coming from, but I certainly wouldn't say, there's so many people complaining about Facebook, to hell with Mark Zuckerberg. But in the end, everybody is there and everybody is happy using it and being connected to everyone out there. So I'm open to TikTok in the same way like I'm open to YouTube, like I'm open to Twitch. Eve, yeah, not winning, Jason. Made me come here all the time to annoy him. Yeah, and you probably just, you just have to probably copy that message and just hit like, inserting it all the time and just, write it all the time. Discord is the future. That's true, definitely. This is such a cool platform. Thank you so much for promoting my platform. Sylvie, we can definitely tell that you're not doing this for the money. Your excitement and passion is very endearing, especially when you're talking earlier about the Damage 2 features. Sylvie, thank you so much. I mean, I would lie, of course, if I would do it. To be honest, I should start different. If I would be like fucking rich and totally don't care about money at all, I probably would still do it, but without charging, for MIDI loops or something. But of course, I mean, I put a lot of work and I fell on my face for like quite a few times. There was like time, seriously, when I was thinking about, shit, you have to start working on some project because all the time you take to research about email service providers and how to set up courses caused some kind of how do you say, like a gap, like a hole where no work was coming. And then I thought to myself, man, there must be some kind of thing going on where I just build more passive income over the time, that if I'm researching stuff, to finding out stuff, that there should be something happening that money comes in. So yes, I mean, to me, it's not the money, but of course, I can't live out of air and just, tap water. So and love. So I just have to charge on some things, of course. Okay, so Peter, you're really going to town growing visibility. Do you find streaming and social aspect of all of this generating an audience just as demanding with workload wise compared to writing every day? Because you're putting out a lot socially these days. There's a lot of effort and time into all this. You're right. I mean, it's demanding. Probably when I'm doing like a 2 or 3 hour stream and there was a lot of writing going on, it's very demanding, but it's also like kind of positive stress because in this moment, I'm my own boss. It's like, without sounding arrogant, but you are on the stream because you like or you enjoy what I'm doing here. It's not like I'm having like some nude girls dancing around all the time, doing stuff, and you just come for the boobs, so to say. So, but I'm like my own boss here. I can do what I love to do or what you guys requesting or something, so we can have like a great mix of interaction. And if I'm writing music for a game, of course, I feel it's more stressful to write all day for like, 5 or 10 hours. And to be honest, I'm a guy. Yeah, let's see what I can do about the girls. I probably could just tell one right now, but she wouldn't definitely be amused about doing this. I mean, she wouldn't do it, but maybe we should have like a special night where Kati is with me in my stream, and she's giving us some tips about what we can do for our neck, because she's a physiotherapist, and this is pretty awesome. This is like the perfect combination, like a composer and a physiotherapist, because You know, she can always help me when I'm, well, that was kind of selfish right now, but that was on purpose. That was the purpose of, you know. So to make it short, it's, to be honest, my main goal for the future, my ultimate main goal is to get like a cup of coffee at like whatever, you know, morning time, and then start streaming for like 4 or 5 hours and just having fun. And then this is like my goal, and what I'm also trying to say in my audio essentials course I released a while ago, that we are still stuck in this old habit of trying to get hired. Everybody, you know, if you give people like a recipe about how to build their YouTube followers and how to build like a community of like, I see it from myself right now. I mean, I currently passed like 8,000 followers, and soon it will be 9,000, and soon it will be 10,000. And when I hit 10,000, I know that it will be kind of like a different level on YouTube, and then it will happen more and more. So if you are at a point 5,000 to 10,000 people, 50,000 or even 100,000 per people, and calculating it down with what I make from these little video descriptions down below, it will be a lot more, so that you don't even have to think about making a living anymore. So just in case, if there is somebody out there having 100,000 YouTube subscribers and complaining about how to make a living, for example, I would just sitting here there and you know, creating head shaking loops, video loops about me shaking my head, or little gifs, because I totally couldn't understand that somebody wouldn't be able to sustain a living, and it just needs a few years to build that. And most of the people just get into you know, releasing a YouTube video and then being annoyed or disappointed that nothing happens, that they just built like 5 or 10 followers or got like 5 likes or something. But this is not what it is about. If you want to build your business, you just come up with 100 videos, and then you look back and see, okay, this video worked, this didn't, this kind of okay worked. Then you optimize the video, put like different tag or different title in it. Suddenly it shoots up, and then you realize now that's how it works. And then you release 20 new videos by focusing on something that worked well, and then people watch more and more. And then you see, this is like building a business, you know. And I mean, I would just wish for everyone to get into that position and saying, I don't have to worry about my life. I don't have to worry about my finances anymore because I make all that money myself. Yes, no, I'm not trying to turn my chat into an R-rated content. Or did you guys write something I wasn't aware of? Let me just check. No. Oh, Michael Johnson, can I ask what kind of chair that you have and if it's comfortable? I'm looking to get a new one. It's like a gaming chair. You know, usually when I look for what is kind of DX Racer, a DX Racer, and it's kind of comfortable. It's kind of comfortable. Yes, I mean the best thing you can do is doing like back exercises. If you just get on the floor, seriously, this is the best thing you can do. Get on the floor and doing Supermans. If you are able to get on the floor and doing these Supermans, by meaning like putting up your hands and trying to put up your legs so that you're just basically on the belly, and hold this for 10 seconds only, like 4 or 5 times every day, you don't have back problems anymore. It's just gone. And the other thing I have, so the chair is like above average, let's say. I think I paid like $300 for this, but this was totally worth to getting a chair. What is even more interesting, I have like a motorized desk and I'm sitting all the time. But this happened because I rewired so much new stuff that I didn't care about where the wires run and the cables. And there is some stuff, you know, especially from the new machine going straight up to the monitor. And if I would just drive it up like 10 or 20 centimeters, it would just like rip off all these cables, not peoples. Oh my God. Borby, let me just quickly check your last question of if I thought about diversifying your streaming and video content, why should this be important? You know, I did all the time. I didn't stream to YouTube because I just recreated videos on YouTube, and then at the same time I just streamed on Twitch. But to be honest, right now it feels also good to stream to YouTube. The only thing I have to be aware of that I get claims all the time if we just watch videos or check out tracks from others. But then again, I decided I just monetize the streams. I didn't have any, external music track going. Yeah, Dirk, you encouraged me to do this again. I mean, actually, I did it a while ago, streaming to YouTube, to Twitch, and to Facebook. But then again, I thought, okay, you know, like YouTube is the video platform for me, but and Twitch is this live streaming platform. But then again, it can't hurt to build your watch hours and create even more content to YouTube. What is more important afterwards is that if you were live streaming to YouTube, you have to convert that live stream into a YouTube by putting all the text, the thumbnails to it, because this is, you know, optimizing the title and the description, because then you optimize the YouTube SEO and then it gets, kicked into space, into YouTube space, and then you can see that even it will these videos will be recommended on the starting page of YouTube. Hey Frank, whatever pill. I'm stoned by nature. Just to answer that. Okay, let me just read. So you're finding the math and therefore work ethic focused in streaming is actually viable. You know, the thing is, Peter, just keep in mind, everybody back then wanted, you know, at some point we were sitting there writing music and then we said, wouldn't it be awesome to have our own concerts or even our own TV show? And you know, right now this is happening. So I kind of have my own TV show. And I even have it regularly going on. So I'm not just jumping in and streaming. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do it because this week I did, because I did one Monday, Tuesday, today, and tomorrow will be another one. But I for now said, okay, you know, I stream my stream on Wednesday, and this will be happening at 8 p.m. And so you kind of build your little community on Twitch also. And then you make these people watch, you know, YouTube videos or getting to my store or, you know, on the Patreon account. So you create kind of this circle, which isn't the main purpose to be kind of that aggressive salesman. You know, of course, if I really appreciate when people subscribe to my Twitch channel, which is basically like, donating $4.99 per month to my channel. And if somebody subscribes like a Rick Reiser back then, right now, if you, for like 6 months, I really, really appreciate when this happens. And imagine I'm currently still not on the 1,000 followers on Twitch. But if I will happen like maybe hit 5,000 or 10,000, and then you open these subscriptions or you have these subscriptions going or you do a little bit of promotion, you're not forcing something to people like saying, buy this, you know, and putting like advertising every 5 minutes. You just say, hey, if you want this, take it. If not, but I spend time like 3 days, a week, or even half a year or something to create something. and then you can get it. If you don't want to get it, that's cool. Enjoy my stream because I love, the streaming factor. But I have just like these little things going on. And at some point, I perfectly know in 5 or 10 years from now, I can make my living just by doing this. And I mean, this is the best idea ever. This is the best life, to sit there and just playing music and having it, kind of with an interactive factor, by having you guys maybe deciding on where the track should go or something, and then making this track available to you guys on my Patreon account or even on YouTube to listen to, which then again driving my watch hours, driving the monetization. So this is creating like this self-feeding circle. So I can do this at some point and make my living from this by doing what I love, and this is everybody should kind of try this, because it's just amazing to build this. And to be honest, I believe that like the initial 5 or 4 or 5,000 followers I had before YouTube changed the algorithm, it was a lot easier. So you see, like people like Daniel James or even Alex Mukala or even Dirk, he passed like the 10,000 subscribers a while ago, and Alex is even up to like 80,000, and his channel is growing like absolutely amazing. Walda T. No, it's Wald ITV. Thanks for following. So his channel is growing like crazy, Alex Mukala's channel. And he's writing music in FL Studio. He's clicking it all with a mouse. So not meaning this negative, but he's like the absolute opposite of like that composer sitting there writing on a piano, like he's like creating his music with mouse clicks, and it sounds really amazing. But he's having his own style, and this is the most important thing. And he's growing this, and he probably doesn't care about getting some job to work on. He's doing what he loves, and he's living from this. Oh, Hakan, I'm not really sure if the only way is PayPal, but I think you can buy damage by also using credit card. I think it also should be working. Let's check for a second the product page. Because I mean, if we talked about the library, let me just switch. Oh, switch to the wrong screen. Should happen at some point. So if I just say add to cart, go to my cart, proceed to checkout. So you got billing stuff, PayPal. No, you got all the stuff like Visa, MasterCard. Or you got even like SEPA, Lastschrift. This is like the German, bank account transaction. So if you have a credit card, if you have a bank account, and if you have, or if you have PayPal, it should work. Nashi, yeah, I know. Alex totally split his YouTube channels. He has a gaming channel, he has a music channel, and he has a tutorial channel. And he's clever when it comes to this because he doesn't destroy, because there is always a danger that if I would, do like a gaming stream on my account, people would say, oh, this guy is, like gaming. I hate games. I just unfollow him. And, but then again, I think it's like so much. I would understand. I'm just thinking about getting like a gaming channel done and just taking care of the gaming and the streaming over there. But if I would just, kind of split the tutorials and the music and everything, it makes sense for him, but it wouldn't make sense for me. So if somebody, thinks, hey, I like you, but I don't like you when you have like this shirt on or this beanie or whatever, I say you just go away. I am like I am, you know. So I have my YouTube channel. I once in a while have like streaming a game going on because I'm a game composer. I mean, this is all for me. I write music, I do tutorials, and I write my music for games and trailers. So why not playing a game once in a while? So I just have it all together. Yes, Eve, banning you right now. Hey, Mr. Butt-Knuckle, yeah. Let's destroy some noobs in Warzone. It's kind of funny because I'm such a nerd because on the marksman rifles yesterday I think I accessed the gold skin for all marksman rifles, even with a crossbow. I'm an absolute nasty bitch when it comes to the when playing the crossbow. I had like a buddy, without a word of a lie, I had like playing with a buddy, and he said, "Why do you even bother shooting at this guy? It was like 100 meters away, hiding in the bushes somewhere." And I was just keep going, and at some point you heard this arrow just going like, and you know exactly, and I was using explosive bolts, so I know exactly that this bolt hit the body, and then you hear like the explosion happening like a second later. So that was kind of funny. So I should do like streaming when I'm playing with a crossbow. Yeah, Rick Ariza, get out of here. Nobody has these. Nobody has to have these headphones I have. Just leave all. Let me just check. I'm just kidding. Oh, Peter, you know, very important about this charisma. I think this builds over time. When I think about my first streams or even my first videos, I was like, you know, hello. Let's write some music. You know, so I was completely unrelaxed. But this just leaves and this just grows over time. So I think, and I'm convinced, if you are a creative person, if you are a composer, if you are a sound designer, a creative person in general, you know, like an illustrator or something, you have this kind of charisma and you have this kind of, how do you say, like, you didn't become a music composer without a reason, you know? I mean, of course, some people get into that business because they're just nasty guys and shitting on everyone. And, you know, like certain composers making use of others, but just using their talents and then not paying them and kicking them out, kicking them out again. This happens. DJ Adam, your first YouTube videos, I remember those thick German accent. I think it's still there. I think the accent is still there. Yes. Oh, I was just actually, thank you, immer besser als du. Thank you for following. And also Valdi TV. Why I didn't see that? Damn, you either happen like, no, it happened like 7 minutes ago. So sorry for getting you. I was just a little bit floored, a little bit surprised when I was reading. Thank you for following immer besser als du. I had problems seeing that this was a nickname. Hey, Killstroms, how are you? Gas, thank you so much that I'm just rocking it, that you see it like this. But I think it's just, this is also what I, you know, back then when I talked to like 20, I think it was like 20, 25 composers. And the main reason they say they would never get in front of a camera is they say they wouldn't feel comfortable doing this. But it's like, you know, you're standing on that pool with cold water and you say, I don't jump into this because I know it's cold. And we all know how uncomfortable cold water is. So why should I jump into this? But once you're in there, you're just like, oh man, this is like, I totally feel alive. This is something completely different. And I swear to you, when you do your first assuming you never did it before, when you do your first stream, when you do your first video, even though it didn't work well, but after doing it, after publishing it, after turning off the camera and, you know, saying goodbye to your audience, you will feel better. You will feel great, and you will probably lick blood. It's like, not sure if it's like a German saying, but we say like you're licking blood, and then you get like, you know, all you know, like fired up to get more of this, you know, to kind of feel the adrenaline happening. So yes, this is when changeover day will happen. So Sam Samson, the next live composing stream will actually happen tomorrow. Typically, I mean, I have my my stream on Wednesday evening, but there was so much stuff happening with the release of you know, Best Service, these solo strings, the emotional solo strings, and like Damage 2. I said, okay, I just have to do that stream, and then Wednesday is my to-go stream, so we start you know, composing tomorrow with Spitfire, BBCSO. Your blood shrink right up. Yeah, I mean, seriously, just do it. You know? I'm using my youthful sex appeal. What should I say, you know? But actually, I think I'm, you know, I kind of think like you should see me with like 18 or 19. I was looking at myself and saying like, oh God, this is me, so I don't want to change. So if somebody would ask today what age you would love to be, I would say 45. It's the best age ever. If somebody says, I want to back be 19, and I was like, I don't know, pimples? Trouble with girls all the time because you're not able to understand what they really want or really looking for, because you're failing all the time to understand girls. You know, I don't want to change back to 18, 19, and probably just not even knowing what I want, you know, like being thrown into that world and running around like saying, what should I do? What should I do? 41 is cooler. Well, it was cool. 41 was cool. It's getting cooler. Nah, Dirk, you can't say this. You now have to say 41 is cool, but I can't wait to get 45, because at some point we will be 50 or 60, and we just have to live with that attitude of saying it will get more and more awesome. And when you're like 70 or 80, you probably, when I'm 70 or 80, I will just be the Warzone grandpa or something. I was just sitting there and just rocking everyone on the battlefield with like 70 or 75 or 80 years old. And you know, hey Jochen, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. We definitely have to have another phone call soon. But it's funny, Jochen is actually a team member of Dynamedion, so we're writing, and we had the pleasure to collaborate on some stuff. And it's always funny. Sometimes we just wanted to phone about something new, about a new feature of a library or something we want to talk about. But then we're just picking up the phone, and we are like some old women talking about everything, what happened in the town. And all these phone calls probably always last like, what do you say, like maybe like an hour or something? 45 minutes. And it's always like, let me quickly tell you something, or let me quickly ask you something. And then it ends up being like 45 minutes or an hour. Or you were a Navy EOD tech. What is EOD? Just explain this. It sounds pretty interesting. Yes, most of the time it's me talking. Like in the live stream. So basically, when you have like a telephone conversation with Jochen, it's right now like with the stream I'm talking about all the time. But I know he's kidding too, because we know each other for such a long time, and we know each other personally, of course. We have been recording choir. I remember that was a really awesome time, recording choir in Riga and recording orchestra in Prague. Was it Prague? Budapest. Budapest. I think it was. Yes, right. TomTom Studios, right? Has been a while. I would love to have, have another session of this. Yeah, Guy Michelmore, he's really like a real awesome grandpa. He's explaining music stuff so well, and I love to watch, his streams or his videos. Way too much beer, yeah. And girls. Yes, I think I remember that night because we just started talking to people. And then we just went to some other people and started talking with them and said, why don't you meet these people? Let's say we just talked to people, A, B, C. Then we went to other people and started talking to these. And then so the evening ended up when we just had like a bunch of like 20 people standing together on this marketplace in Budapest, or at some kind of a party street, and having conversation with each other. That was really, really funny. No, sorry, Nihil, I was just messing it up with my crappy Denglish. Guy isn't streaming; he's doing YouTube videos. I was just using the wrong word. Or is he streaming? Yeah, Eve, I'm just reading that you're 58, and I mean, yeah, right. So you're 58 and you're on Twitch. I mean, this has idol factor. You're watching Twitch streams and at this age, so this means you're still young, so I definitely want to get there. I definitely have to get there. It's like 13 years from now, and I will definitely watch Twitch streams at this point. I mean, we are all like, creative people that are young in our why I just wanted to check back to you're looking at this screen all the time. It feels always unpersonal when I just switch to that, to have my GUI up here, my Studio One view. At least you could take a longer look at Damage 2. So, but it feels a little bit more personal when we're just, sitting a little bit closer together. Yeah, I think it's very important to have this attitude by not saying. I see that all the time when people say, "Oh, I'm getting old." I do that too sometimes. It feels like people saying, "Oh, I'm getting old," and but in the end, no, it's not that you're getting old, because then you see like some kind of yoga guy is like 75 and he's doing like 30 kind of pull-ups in a park, and his body is like mine never will be. And then you have this mad respect. It's not the age. It's just at some point you're just stopping to take care about your body. And I'm currently have to be a little bit careful because I'm getting kind of a belly because of having too much sweets and, not going for a run. So I definitely have to start this too. And I know this because I have been, 25, 30 at this range. And I went up like 5, like a hallway of 5 stairs. And I felt like, so, and then I had a point where I was doing lots of sports, starting with around 40, probably to the age of 43. And I was just, I just remember one night, one phase in my life where I was going out around Christmas time for like an entire week of partying. Every night I went out partying and I didn't feel anything. You know, I could go on forever at this point, but of course I had to stop because of work. And then you have to have this discipline. I mean, yes, of course, you can just get fat. I'm still deciding if I should do this. Yeah, if you do a lot of partying, you have to do a lot of let's say doing a lot of the opposite thing. How do you say? So when you're just going for partying and you just have to do something for your body, you have to do like healthy eating, you have to do all the sports stuff, you have to take care of your vitamin D intake, because when you go partying, you probably stay out in the night all the time, so you're not getting that exposure to sunlight. So you have to make sure to get as definitely vitamin D3, because if you're not getting this, you're just you know, your mood also goes down a little bit. And of course, if you're not drinking water in between the beer, and to me, partying was never like getting, you know, I probably, to be really honest with you guys, I can't actually recall a night that I really did that excessive drinking that I didn't know who I was. You know, maybe in my early years, when I was like 17, 18, where you just, you know, got in contact with alcohol. But today, being alone, I mean, living on my own, living independently from my parents and all that, I think there was always, I always made it home, and I never exceeded that drinking level to some point to becoming excessive. I don't do that. I remember some mornings when I was waking up and said like, oh shit, I really feel like shit, but this is, yes, living in California helps vitamin D a lot. Well, it depends. I know a lot of people, they look pale as fuck, you know, staying in the studio all the time with air conditioning on. So I think sometimes I have like this little door behind me leading to a balcony on the ground floor. Makes a lot of sense, but this is like it is. But if I just get on there for like 10 or 15 minutes a day, yeah, like in Budapest. Yeah, that was wild night, but I still, you know, it's like pretty happy. I still remember that we got home. Well, the thing is, if you're afraid of the headache, you're just not drinking enough water in between, because if you really take care and take attention to when you're going out for partying, it's always the problem that you forgot to drink water. If you drink a beer or two and you have water, a full glass, or really like several glasses, and then you have like another 1 or 2 beers, you definitely wake up absolutely without any problem. It's just the water. Yes, we're streaming 3 hours already. This is, you know, that I have so much fun streaming with you guys. Let me just scroll back. David Secor, yeah, in your 20s, I was just reading that now, you could eat like 2 pizzas a day without a problem. Well, to be honest, if I would just work out like crazy, I had phases where I was just running like 3 times a week, and to be I wasn't at the Navy or something, so I would running for like 3 days in 1 week, 10 to 11 kilometers round our Ulster here. I could probably eat like 2 pizzas too. A Rickerizer, that's like a study you have to do. You know, you have to do YouTube or probably like streaming it. Why don't you do a live stream on just having like how much water do we have to have compared to how many Long Island iced teas? Subbits, thanks for being here. Have a good night. Yeah, but that's the beauty of this, you know. You're watching a composing stream and learning for life. Thank you so much. But this is the awesome thing. At least I hope when you get together with composers, people doing the same like you, and then you end up with a talk about life and everything. I mean, I think I told that story before, but at one point I was invited with lots of producers, and there was also the producer of a very famous, I mean, I can say it because she had so many producers, I mean, producing her, Celine Dion. I was having this dinner with that producer of, or an arranger. I don't remember, but he worked for Celine Dion, and this was like, shit, I'm meeting that person. You know, I was really waiting for all these stories and for all the stuff happening in the studio and the live advice. And then he was even sitting next to me. And then at some point he turned around to me and said, Alex. And I was like, you know, that guy's talking to me. Now it happens. Now you get, you know, like you get all that information and you get like that awesome live talk. And then he said, what Cubase plugins do you use? And I just wanted to punch him in the face because there is nothing worse when you meet someone that you start talking about Cubase plugins or anything. I mean, why should you start, you know, talking about, you know, it's okay to share these stories or what's happening inside your, you know, like little tips or tricks when you're working, and even if it would be technical stuff, but what he doesn't absolutely he doesn't absolutely care about if I use this compressor or this EQ or I mean, I can't decide what he wants to ask me. So if he's asking, this is totally fine. But if he would have asked, you know, is there some kind of a new plugin you can recommend or something? Or have you heard about this plugin because it does this or that? Like a drum replacer. This was a big thing back then when you easily could replace, when you could trigger, let's say like, you know, a drum samples and create and replace it with other samples. So you could, you know, drive in, or how do you say, like layer it with samples from your favorite drum library. That was like a real crazy thing everybody started talking about. Or when Cher introduced, you know, what is that crazy effect Cher has on her vocals, like doing that. And then you find out it's auto-tune, and then everybody starts talking about this. So you really think that you start getting into that awesome and I had quite some, you know, cool meetings with several producers, and it's always like you always end up with that awesome talk about life, about funny stories, about all that weird studio talk, what's happening. But then, what plugins do you use? Yeah, thank you. But he was nice, disregarding. I should say that he's really a nice person. I'm not sharing names, but that person was definitely very, very nice and kind on this evening. But I was just baffled by this question. Yeah, I wish I would be able to read every single message and answer everything. So I really apologize if I miss something. We need a healthy composer streamer too. Hey, Supernep. Yeah, we should definitely do this. Yeah, I'm still thinking. I mean, I'm not drinking that much alcohol anymore. Maybe on the weekend, sometimes on Friday, but most of the time it's just 1 or 2 beers. That's it. Maybe a glass of gin on the other day. Sometimes a glass of wine, but I really, you know, just shrunk this down. It's probably because I'm ending my day with always having, like, I mean, depending on my that my girlfriend is here or not. But I mean, if she's going to bed and sleeping already and I'm still awake, of course, I'm ending the day with a little bit of a round of Warzone. And I find that if I drink more like 1 or 2 beers, I can't, you're losing like that focus I really need when you just try to hit someone with a crossbow 50 meters away. So kind of gaming can have a positive impact on you. But on the other hand, of course, I was never that guy, abusing alcohol or drinking that much, except water. Yes, right. I have to agree. Beer is basically food. It's so funny when you live in Bavaria, because beer is like the necessary, how do you say Grundnahrungsmittel? It's like the basic requirement for food, beer in Bavaria. Oh, Fender, how many U-lamps do you have in your home? I bought my first 3 and I must hold back to not buy more. Well, look at my room. You see, let me just, can I do it like this? So I got like that little, I should point like here, like that little lamp. This is new in the cupboard up here. I felt, to be honest, this how when I just started streaming, I was always looking at this corner and I said, this kind of looks like empty over there. I should get something for that corner because it looks so empty on that corner in the stream. So I ended up getting this cupboard or this shelf, which actually made the entire studio room way more perfect. So to come back to your question, I think I have one behind my TV, then this purple thing up here. Then I have my little shelf here with the effects. But this is not U-lights. This is some kind of, car tuning things. And you have like a cigarette connector, for the car, but you can exchange it with like a power adapter to charge your phone. So I put that somewhere in between all the other connections. Then I have one here. So it's 1, 2, 3. Then I have like this little blue one here. And I have another one behind my monitor. So it's like 5 something. Yeah, but once you started buying these things, you can't stop because they make all kinds of, it's like the atmosphere completely changed in here since having this. DJ Adam, to be honest, I don't have any room treatment going on. This is the only acoustic panels I have. And I have these foam thingies. So it's kind of like a foam imitation. It's not real stone. So this is like foam. It kind of blocks the noise. But to be honest, I'm working with headphones all the time anyway. So I have a pair of Adam A5s in here, but I hardly use them. So there is actually no room treatment going on. Eve, since the beginning of this stream, you had 4 beers already. Well, yeah, I just missed to buy some because I was so busy all the time. And then I forgot. I could like easily, ordering water and drinks and all the time. And yeah, I always forget about this. And then I say, oh, like, shit, it's that late already. I have to go live. I can't go to the store right now. So yeah, the studio tour, right. I still have that on my bucket list. I still have to do this. And I also have, I already have a sub for the bass. I got like, I don't know what I have, the sub 7 or something that came, that's also an Adam sub 7. But as I said, yeah, I hardly don't use it because you can't crank up the volume in this house because I'm living in like a 10 family house. So And so I most of the time work with headphones, and it feels kind of strange, not because of, you know, the hearing loss I have or something, but it kind of feels strange to work with monitors, because it feels like everything is so far away. And if you just do like subtle, very soft orchestral music where you have to pay attention to all the details, I think I don't hear them with, you know, using monitors. Or sorry, I thought you're having a typo, not saying sub bass. What is a sub pack? What is it, like a sub bass you're talking about? Oh, Frank, the headphones I'm using are the Audio Technica. It's I always forget. It's the ATH M50. So you can check this out here. These are the ones I'm using. I'm pretty happy with it. Actually, I have to buy a new pair because they're kind of like falling apart already. Oh, a sub pack, a bass driver that you put in your chair. Yeah, that would be funny for gaming. What are you guys doing in the chat right now? Like, I'm just reading this chat here, this little thing. Binocular and Sylvie and Nashi. What is going on with you? Yeah, that would be funny for gaming. Definitely was originally for gaming. I can see that. But for trailer music, it would be funny too. Oh, Italian food discussion. Okay, I thought. Sorry. Italian food. Can't have enough of this. And burgers. Pizza on pineapple. Yeah. Yeah, no Epic yeah, Bone King. Yeah, definitely. Like, Heavyocity doesn't need to produce another Epic Percussion library for the next 10 years. Can you believe that it has like 9 years already that that they released Damage 1. This is pretty awesome. Okay, so I just have to do one final round of like this little self-promotion. So just in case if you're interested again, I just also got this new landing page, and I also shared this yesterday. This is like a little course. So just in case if you don't know about this is a new little course I released. Actually, it has been out for like a month already, but let's say I did like all of this research about how to build your brand, about how to come up with a little bit of passive income, how to grow your channels, what to take care of when you upload to YouTube, how to set up OBS with streaming, all these things. So you can check out the link I was just posting right now. It's like I called it Audio Artist Essentials. It's like, I think it's just 19 euros. So if you're interested, you get like 9 or 10 videos. No, it's 9 videos and just one. Actually, it's 10 videos, but there's like the last video talking a little bit about, getting hired in general. So it's a little bit more like how do you say, like not really like a lesson or a lecture, but a little bit of a talk. So just in case, if you're interested, you can check this out here. And yes, so I think I would, man, we have like I'm just checking, no dropped frames for today. So I really blame it on my internet connection back then, that there was a disconnect. that there was a disconnect happening. So I think I would call it a day for tonight because we're still needing some energy for tomorrow. And tomorrow will be like pressure day deluxe, because I said that we are going to kind of compose something in the style of Anderton's Great Escape, like from the Minority Report soundtrack. And if you know, Minority Report was a track by John Williams, or was written by John Williams, the soundtrack. So I definitely don't want to be or compare myself to John Williams. This will never happen. But I will definitely try to come up with something that at least gets the mood of this kind of escape track. So we had like a game track last time, an adventure track. We will have like a chasing track, and then maybe, you know, during the next streams we'll definitely write some more tracks. But we can let you decide what you want to hear. If it should be like another, let's say like a battle track or something, or like a very intense, mighty, heroic, whatever, you know, a burly brawl or something. Okay. So thank you so much for being here. Have a great night. Take care. And yeah, see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central European time, Central European Standard Time, actually. I all the time said it's CET, but it's CEST, so Central European Standard Time, because this is actually Berlin time. So 8 p.m. See you tomorrow. Take care. And thanks for being here. See you tomorrow. Bye.